What's going on, guys? Piluk here. I am back with another video. Today we're going to be looking at which NHL teams have a chance at selecting #1 in the NHL entry draft. Now, I'm currently making this video on March 17th, aka St. Patrick's Day, wearing my Toronto St. Pat's jersey. I basically only wear this once or twice a year. Like when I make videos here and there, I'll wear it because I love the jersey. I think it's really nice, the green and white. But happy St. Patrick's Day if you're watching this on the 17th. If not, then that's cool. You could still, I guess, appreciate the jersey. If you have one, let me know. That'd be cool. Or if you have any green jerseys that you think are cool, let me know. But yeah, we're going to be taking a look at which teams could select #1 overall. I've got some websites that I'm going to be using here for odds and stuff like that. I'll get into more of that in a little bit here. But I believe the NHL Draft Lottery is probably next month or maybe May when they start doing the selection. I could be wrong, but it is an exciting event, and I'll probably be doing a live stream during that. Last year I just filmed my reaction. I'd like to do a live stream depending on time and stuff like that. But again, that'll be down the line. So I've got some notes and stuff in front of me here on my laptop, and we're going to be looking at teams that could quite possibly be selecting #1 overall. Now, I know it is not the end of the season yet, but for some teams, there's only between 10 to 12 games. I'm pretty sure for most teams in the NHL. So you're going to get a good idea here which teams are at least going to be in the running, and we can almost guarantee the #1 selection will probably be Rasmus Dahlin. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I apologize. From Frölunda, again, could be saying that wrong, from the Swedish Hockey League, the SHL. And I think that he's going to go #1 because I think it's fairly obvious. He's got insane offensive potential. I'm not sure on his defensive side. People are saying he's pretty strong that way. He needs to fill out his body a little bit more. Apparently, he's a little bit on the lankier side. But again, lots of great NHL players that, you know, build their muscle and build up weight a little bit over their career. But again, that's not the biggest issue. As long as he, you know, puts his best or puts his health forward and is in good shape come training camp, shouldn't be an issue. Lots of players come into camp a little bit underwhelming when it comes to the weight side of things, much like Mitch Marner, but he's been a fantastic player, so nothing should change for Dahlin. He's going to make a step into the NHL next year as what, an 18 or 19-year-old, and have an immediate impact. I believe he'll be 18, and or will he? I'm always second-guessing myself, but I believe he's 17 right now. If I'm mistaken, let me know. But he is going to be a very effective player when it comes to playing. I think Kiprios mentioned playing anywhere between 18 to 20 minutes. I could see that going up a little more depending on some of the teams that could potentially draft him. And I thought it was funny that there was a site that I was looking up here that I've got that says Tankathon. The website's called tankathon.com. And it says /NHL/pick_odds if you want to check it out. But they say that these odds are a guess because the NHL doesn't really make this information as available as other places. So they've got some reasoning to why they chose this thing. So maybe I'll leave the link in the description box or something like that. But they have a way of looking at it. It's basically just the worst teams in the league currently on March 17th and the odds there. So we're going to take a look at some teams real quick here, and we're going to talk about the impact that he would have. Obviously, it would be good, but it would be a lot better for certain teams because it might excel a rebuild or a retooling for some of these teams. So you've got teams towards the bottom of this list that have a very low shot, according to this list, of acquiring the #1 pick, like Anaheim, Florida, St. Louis, Calgary, and Carolina, and probably even the Rangers and Islanders. I think when you start off with a team like Chicago, they might have a chance at getting that #1 pick. Again, these are not the set odds. Please listen to me when I say this. People get very frustrated because they think that I'm just making all this stuff up. There are stats all over the place. These are the standings in the NHL. These are some of the teams that have been towards the bottom of the standings or in the middle of the pack. I am not making this stuff up. These are the teams that have a shot at getting the #1 selection and probably drafting Rasmus Dahlin. If you don't get him, maybe Zadina, but I'm almost positive it's going to be Dahlin. Chicago does have a pretty good shot this year. Imagine him going to that team. It would relieve a lot of issues for them because Chicago is in a stage where they're going to have to start trading off some of their better players because of cap issues. And their time of being at the top of the NHL may be in a bit of a rough patch. They've got some players that are getting paid a lot of money who aren't performing. A lot of people still like to defend Duncan Keith when he only has, I think, if not the same amount of primary points, or maybe one more or one less than Roman Polak. And you know how much everybody gets on the case of Roman Polak for. So when it comes to primary points, he's not putting a ton up. And Steve Dangle has brought this up before. Duncan Keith obviously is still on a decent contract, but it's not looking too pretty when it comes to scoring for defense. Seabrook has obviously been an issue. The Hossa situation is very unfortunate. Jonathan Toews hasn't really been putting up as much points as Chicago Blackhawks fans would like. Obviously still getting great production from Kane and Crawford in goal, but adding Dahlin to that team would be absolutely ridiculous. It would probably give them another boost when it comes to the fact that they're going to get a potential top line pairing, probably more than likely a top pairing defenseman, maybe not next year but the year after. He's going to be very good. Another team is Edmonton, and this one really would piss a lot of people off. Let's be real here, real talk on this channel. If the Oilers got Dahlin, that would be insane. And according to this website, first of all, they said Chicago had a 5.8% chance, and they're saying Edmonton has a 6.7% chance. I'm not even sure. I'm not even going to go by the percentage, but the fact of the matter is Edmonton's near the bottom. They haven't been good this year. They need defense. They need pretty much everything. I know they're going to rebound next year, but adding Dahlin to this team, could you imagine him and McDavid sharing the ice on an overtime? Oh my God, even 5-on-5. But could you imagine with all that open ice, you have to deal with two of the fastest. He's fast, he's quick, he's got sick hands, much like McDavid. Obviously, McDavid is probably the better player. But the fact of the matter is people are comparing Karlsson and Dahlin. So that would be a huge upgrade for them. They're in need of defensemen. For me, I'm a Leafs fan, but I love when teams get better. I can't stand when people are like, oh, well, since I hate this team, I don't want to see them get better. I want all the teams to be competitive. What if every NHL team was very competitive and, every game was a tight score, or every team had star players that, could any given night steal a game? And I want the Oilers to be a team where they get back into that conversation. I know they've had a bump in the road, but seeing those two play together would be fantastic. That Oilers team would be much better. And what I was going to say is if they got a guy like Karlsson, spelt with a C, I believe, from Washington, signed him to a deal, and then ended up getting Dahlin, that defensive core looks a lot better. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think that would be pretty cool. Then you've got Montreal. Clearly, that would be good for them. They're looking to make a quick turnaround. They've got Price in goal, who's probably going to rebound. Weber hopefully will find, that he's healthier next season. I still don't like the Subban trade, but they have a lot of decent pieces there. And if they end up trading guys like Galchenyuk and trying to get something else, they've got a guy like Drouin. Adding Dahlin would very much, am I speaking English today? It would help them. I'm trying to connect words and it's not working, but it would help them quite a bit. And obviously, I'm going to say it a lot, but it is going to help every team on this list. But it's going to help these teams in different ways. Even though it's the same player, there's teams that really need defensemen, and then there's teams that with another good defenseman could really set them over the top. With Montreal, they're a team that needs another good defenseman. They have traded away some good ones. Obviously, I'm forgetting his name right now, and it's really ticking me off. He's on Tampa, Sergachev. They obviously traded him away, and they're going to need somebody else to fill in for the young defenseman. I believe they still have Mete. They could start forming together a good defensive core. Then you've got Ottawa. Oh, man. If you could get Dahlin and Karlsson, the two Swedes playing together, look out. Karlsson, I think, would stay in Ottawa for that. You have to keep them together. That would be amazing. My buddy Tyler would love that. I know he would. I'm not sure if he even watches the videos anymore, but he would love that. I'm sure we'd be talking about that if Ottawa ended up with the #1 pick. Man, would that be an impressive combo? And again, power plays, overtime. You could stick both of those guys out there. Karlsson and Dahlin could be out there as a forward in overtime because of the speed. But then you could break them up in overtime for that 3-on-3. You're kidding me. Man, would that be a sweet pickup for Ottawa on the back end? It would basically give their franchise another boost of energy of, damn, we've got another great Swedish defenseman. Keeping Karlsson, hopefully that would maybe help him. I've got another video coming on Karlsson and Vegas, and you know, you can include Bobby Ryan in that conversation because that'll be part of the video. That's coming soon, maybe even tomorrow. Wow, that would be an impressive pairing. On to Detroit. This would help them a lot because of their cap issues, and acquiring a piece like Dahlin could help them at least get better next season. With all the cap issues they have and the team that they've been icing, it has not been good. Having an affordable player on their roster that they don't have to worry about losing if they can make some moves is obviously a good thing. They're in a transitioning period. They're not a great team. They're going to have to make some tough decisions coming up, letting go of guys that have been part of the team for a long time and letting go of guys that they might not want to let go of but they can't afford. Adding a guy like Dahlin would at least help you know that you have a guy that's affordable who could potentially be your number one defenseman. And for Detroit, I don't have a ton to say because I hate to say it, I don't really want him to go to Detroit, to be honest with you, because I'd like to see him play with some better talent, and that's nothing against guys like Larkin or Athanasiou or however you say it. I always say it incorrectly, I feel like. But I just want him to play with better talent, I guess. But maybe Detroit makes some big moves this offseason, and it would be cool to see him there, I guess, too. I just want to see him in the NHL. This next one would be very interesting. Vancouver. That young crop with another young guy like Dahlin would be incredible. Watching them all play together, much like the Maple Leafs, adding all the young talent over the years. You know, guys like Besser and Horvat, and then you had Dahlin, and who else did they have? Pedersen, I believe they played on the same team. Cole Lind, if that's his name, I keep forgetting. They've got prospects on prospects right now. Oli Levy, maybe they even, no, I was going to say maybe they move him for another forward, but I doubt it. They would probably want to keep that together. Adding all these young pieces together, like Vancouver's going to get a good pick this year, in my opinion. Hopefully I didn't just jinx them. Moroki on defense. I'm always wondering if it's Moroki on defense or Moroki on defense. Am I just saying it incorrectly again? If you're watching this, Moroki, let me know. I don't want to shout you out incorrectly, but he is an incredible Vancouver Canucks channel. I learned so much watching his videos. I highly recommend his channel. I can't say it enough. He would be very happy. I think I would be happy to see it, having Besser and Dahlin on the same overtime. I keep going back to that overtime, but I keep just picturing him with all that open ice. And it's hard not to get excited because that would be a lot of fun. I think that it would be a good fit because of all the young guys playing together, and that Vancouver team would be very fun to watch. So that's something to look out for. Again, with this next team, actually with the next two teams, really, Arizona. Arizona has been looking for another face of their franchise. They've had some struggles with some of their prospects. Domi not really panning out to exactly what they want him to be right now. Hopefully he can hit his stride or, you know, fetch them something better in a trade. Then you have Strome hopefully coming up. You've got Keller. Hopefully this could keep Oliver Ekman-Larsson in Arizona. Maybe Dahlin is a guy that can help you attract more players because of the fact that he is going to be a great playmaker and scorer for your team. It would be very cool to watch him play with this young team. And again, I get a chance to watch quite a lot of Arizona Coyotes games because they're on later. And I would love the chance to be able to watch him all the time. I get home from work or school or whatever I'm doing during the day, and I love watching late night hockey. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. I think it's fun. And watching Dahlin play with another young roster like the Coyotes would be very cool, and I think it would help their franchise when it comes to sales and marketing and everything like that. That's the boring stuff, but you kind of need that to keep your NHL team afloat. Then you've got Buffalo, and I apologize if I didn't mention your team, but this is basically the bottom of the standings right now. You could also, people are saying like Vegas. I don't know what the rule is with Vegas. But they traded their pick, I'm pretty sure. So forget that note. But anyways, Vegas is a good team. I'm not sure why people are saying Vegas. They thought that there was some contractual thing with them in the expansion draft. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think that that's a thing, and I'm pretty sure they traded their pick. But getting back to Buffalo, they obviously lost out on the Connor McDavid thing, but they got Jack Eichel. You can't hate that. They got a good player. They've been stocking up on great young talent. Obviously, they've got Nylander coming up, and I can't remember. There's another prospect on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember his name. I'm going to look it up while I'm talking. But adding him to this team, too, it's another young team that has a lot of great prospects coming up. You're going to look at a guy like Jack Eichel and say, listen, here's the guy that's going to feed you the puck. Here's the guy that's going to score with you. It's going to be really cool to watch Buffalo get better this season because, next season. They've got a lot of good prospects coming up. And I think a lot of people would agree with me saying that it would make their team immediately better. I'm not sure if a lot of people would agree in saying that Buffalo will be, a playoff team next year. I don't think so, but I really do think they'll get better. Like I mentioned, I'm on this list. Alex Nylander, like I said. They have Victor Olofsson, Brandon Gooley, Casey Middlestat. That's the guy I wanted to bring up. A lot of people are excited for him as well. They've got some good prospects. By the way, this article was posted like 7 days ago, so I would imagine that that's pretty accurate. But adding a guy like Dahlin to an already impressive young core when it comes to guys coming up next season, and a healthy Jack Eichel again, knock on head, knock on wood, whatever, people always say that. But Buffalo would be a very impressive team to watch if they were able to get Dahlin. I know they've had some bad luck when it comes to drafting sometimes, but they should be happy with Jack Eichel. Obviously, getting McDavid would have been cool for them, but Jack Eichel is a great young talent, and he's going to be fantastic for years to come. So let me know what you guys think about which team you think will get Rasmus Dahlin, who will get the #1 overall selection in the NHL Draft of 2018. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun recording this one. I really did. I think it's fun to talk about the #1 pick, Rasmus Dahlin, and prospects and stuff like that. I really enjoy making these types of videos. So if you appreciate it, make sure you like the video. I would really appreciate that. It helps build my channel up. Also, subscribe. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Lots of streams coming up, as always. Love doing those. I make videos pretty much every single day. I'm posting every day. I had a little bit of a gap there because I was sick. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun making these videos, so I'm going to keep doing that for you. Make sure you sub, and I'll see you guys in the next video stream. Peace.